The true AI warfare does not take place in high-tech data centers, nor in competitions of computing power or on production lines. So where is it? In fact, the real AI battle has already concluded in the office. Follow me, and we will keep watching the market together, not chasing emotion, but breaking down the logic. Don't forget to like, share, and bookmark. You may think the US AI war is about whose model is smarter. No, not really. The real battlefield is not inside the chatbot window. It is inside cap tables, cloud contracts, GPU orders, data centers, electricity supply, and offices in Washington. American AI is no longer just a technology race. It has become a capital network. OpenAI is tied to Microsoft, SoftBank, and Oracle. Anthropic is tied to Amazon and Google. Elon Musk is linking xAI, SpaceX, and Tesla into one machine. Meta is trying to break through with open source and its own compute. And Nvidia sits upstream collecting tolls from everyone. Once you understand this network, you realize AI is not just an industry. It is becoming a new power structure in American capital. Let's start with the latest signal. On July 2, reports said OpenAI was in early discussions about potentially giving the US government a 5% stake. When people saw that headline, many probably thought, is this too much? Why would an AI company want the government on its shareholder list? But from a capital market perspective, this move makes sense. AI companies do not lack stories or valuations right now. What they lack is political security. Whether a model can be released, whether data can be used, whether compute can expand, and whether products can be sold overseas, all eventually run through government approval. So the first faction in US AI capital is the OpenAI faction. Its strategy is clear. Put the model at the front. Use Microsoft as the commercial channel. Use Oracle and SoftBank for infrastructure. Use Nvidia for chips. And then bring Washington in as political insurance. That is a powerful combination because it is not just building one product. It is building a national-scale AI platform. In simple terms, OpenAI provides the brain. Microsoft provides enterprise distribution. Oracle provides data centers. SoftBank provides capital and global relationships. Nvidia provides the compute weapons, and the US government provides legitimacy. The second faction is the Anthropic faction. Anthropic looks quieter than OpenAI, but it has chosen its position very carefully. It uses Amazon Web Services to reach enterprise customers, keeps a deep relationship with Google, and has built its brand around safety, control, and compliance. Do not underestimate that label. In 2026, the most valuable asset for an AI company may not be model parameters. It may be the trust premium that says, governments, banks, and large enterprises can use us without panic. Anthropic is not selling noise. It is selling reassurance. But Anthropic also has its own problem. The more you emphasize safety, the more governments may use you as the regulatory example. The more you emphasize compliance, the more investors may question your growth speed. Recently, concerns around restrictions on Anthropic's advanced models eased, and the market immediately connected that to its IPO prospects. Once an AI company heads toward the public market, investors do not only listen to safety narratives. They ask three questions. How much revenue do you have? How high are compute costs? And when do you become profitable? The third faction is the Musk faction. Musk plays a completely different game. Other AI companies look for cloud providers, chips, and investors. Musk tries to combine AI, social media, cars, satellites, rockets, data centers, and power systems into one integrated machine. xAI is not just a standalone AI company. It looks more like the nervous system inside the SpaceX and Tesla empire. The upside story is huge, but the risks are just as obvious. Heavy capital spending, extremely high valuation, and a narrative that depends heavily on Musk himself. That is why SpaceX's public market story created both excitement and fear. Investors are excited because Musk has connected space, satellite, internet, and AI data centers into one futuristic narrative. But they are also afraid because that narrative is expensive. The most dangerous thing in AI capital right now is not a lack of dreams. It is that the dreams now require bonds, financing, dilution, and public market money to pay for them. Before, venture capital was betting on the future. Now the entire market is being asked to bet on it. The fourth faction is Meta. Meta's strategy is fascinating because it is not like OpenAI's closed model monetization, and it is not like Anthropic's safety-led enterprise strategy. Meta wants to open source models, expand the ecosystem, and then monetize through ads, social platforms, hardware, and compute. Recently, reports said Meta wanted to sell excess AI compute. The stock first jumped, then fell. Why? Because investors suddenly asked, does Meta really have excess compute? Or is it telling an AI cloud story because it needs to prove that its enormous AI spending can generate returns? This leads to the fifth faction, the compute landlords. Nvidia, Oracle, CoreWeave, SoftBank, and even power and data center companies belong here. They do not necessarily need to win the model race. As long as every model company keeps spending on training, inference, and data centers, they can make money. To put it bluntly, AI model companies are the gamblers at the table. Compute companies are the casino, the chips, and the electricity bill. Who wins or loses matters less to them. As long as the game continues, they collect money. So the real factional war in American AI capital is not about who understands technology better. It is about who controls the bottleneck. OpenAI is fighting for user access and political clearance. Anthropic is fighting for trusted enterprise AI. Musk is fighting for vertical integration. Meta is fighting for open source ecosystems and ad-based monetization. Nvidia is fighting to control the chip bottleneck. Oracle and SoftBank are fighting over data centers and financing structures. Every faction says it is advancing AI. But capital markets care about one thing: who can pass the bill to someone else? That is why AI stocks became so sensitive in early July. On July 2, the broader US market did not collapse. The Dow even rose. But the Nasdaq fell 0.8%, and the semiconductor index dropped around 5.4%. That tells us capital is not running away from everything. It is re-examining the AI ledger. Investors are asking, if everyone builds data centers, who will buy all that compute? If every company claims to have an AI cloud, will prices fall? If AI models become cheaper, how long will it take to earn back the hundreds of billions spent on infrastructure? This is why you should follow us here. The most important thing in AI from now on is not the model leaderboard. It is three tables: the cap table, showing who took whose money, the compute table, showing who locked in GPUs and electricity, and the policy table, showing who is closest to Washington. When these three tables change, AI valuations change, and the Nasdaq's leadership can change with them. We will keep breaking down these relationships, because the real market move often does not start at a product launch. It starts with a change in capital structure. Here is the final judgment. American AI capital has entered the alliance war phase. Standalone AI companies will find it harder and harder to survive because models cost money, compute costs money, data centers cost money, power costs money, and compliance also costs money. The company that survives may not be the one with the flashiest model. It may be the one with the strongest alliance, the lowest financing cost, the lowest policy risk, and the most stable commercial distribution. So this AI war looks like OpenAI versus Anthropic, Meta versus closed models, and Musk versus everyone. But underneath, dollar capital is reallocating the technology tax of the next decade. Whoever controls models collects the software tax. Whoever controls chips collects the hardware tax. Whoever controls cloud collects the infrastructure tax. Whoever controls policy decides who gets to enter the game. It sounds like a conspiracy, but it is actually a capital game happening in public. Follow us, because I will keep tracking the key lines inside the US. AI capital circle. Whether OpenAI's government stake idea becomes real, whether Anthropic or OpenAI reaches the IPO market first, whether Meta's compute selling plan is a real business or just valuation defense, whether Musk's SpaceX AI narrative can hold, and whether Nvidia and data center companies keep collecting tolls from the entire industry. These lines are basically the hidden map of the AI market for the second half of the year. If you understand them, you will not be stuck watching model launches while the real capital moves happen elsewhere.